What's up, y'all? Chase Elliott's 2023 season was easily an enigma. Going into his 8th season, the Cup champion had established that year in and year out, he's going to win a handful of races and compete for the championship. And coming off of 3 consecutive Championship 4 appearances, Elliott was just one of the few guys, fans, teams, and the media all penciled in into the round of 8 predictions and most likely a pick for another Champ 4 spot as well. And coming off of his 2022 season, you could expect it, right? 5 wins, 12 top 5s, 20 top 10s, the best average finish in the series. Throw in 3 poles in a regular season championship. But even though Elliott made the Champ 4, if you were a pessimist though, you almost could have worried which Elliott season would the 2023 season behold. The bad luck, missed calls, and not as great 2022 playoff Chase Elliott, or the regular season champ. Well, I'm making this video, so we all can assume it was the worst option, right?
Showtime! And the 65th Daytona 500 is underway.
You could say Chase Elliott's disappointing season all started and hinged on the very first week, as this wreck would relegate Elliott to a 38th place finish. Then as the following week at Fontana Speedway would see persistent rains that washed out practice and qualifying. With NASCAR using the metric for lining up the field, opposed to the old ways of owner points years back, this meant Elliott started 33rd. Had Elliott not started in the back, we would have started with either a little better track position or much better track position, as Elliott would finish 10th and then 7th in Stage 1 and Stage 2 respectively, while Kyle Busch was 2nd in Stage 2. And Elliott only finished a few seconds back, in 2nd place, behind winner Kyle Busch.
And Kyle Busch could pretty much coast it home from here. What may be the final super speedway NASCAR race ever in Southern California.
RCR, baby.
Goes to Kyle Busch.
That's right. How about you, RCR and everybody, Kyle Busch?
In most seasons, that 3-second gap to winner Kyle Busch isn't nitpicked like I just did. But under the circumstances that occurred in Elliott's 2023 season, it is worth pointing out that not just once, but several occasions, Elliott would be mere circumstances or consequences of his own actions, close to having a really good season instead of the complete disappointment that 2023 became.
Big news here in Las Vegas centers around the 2020 Cup Series champion Chase Elliott. He was injured today, injured his leg snowboarding in Colorado. He will undergo surgery tonight, and he will be replaced in that 9 car for Hendrick Motorsports this weekend by the driver of the 8 in the Xfinity Series, Josh Berry.
So in Chase Elliott's absence of 6 races from the injury, Hendrick would just win 3 races, sweeping 2 of them, win 7 of the 12 stages. If you exclude Atlanta, where Hendrick's cars didn't run as well and had poor luck, the 5 races in 10 stages were 3 wins and 7 stage wins. Elliott missing these races, even if he hadn't won, would have translated to a top 10 in points in the regular season. But when Elliott came back, he ran fine. He actually finished well. Something that made Elliott's season such an enigma is that in some ways, some stats, or mainly his finishing position, would show that he was still one of the best drivers and team in the garage. For much of the season, Elliott actually had the best or a top 3 average finish in the series. In the regular season, Elliott would be Hendrick's best finisher 8 of his 19 races. But Chase's problems weren't where he finished a race. His lack of wins or enough points to make the playoffs came from the team's poor unload speed and the team's practice and qualifying wrecks or problems. To iterate for how far off that team was in this manner, his 2023 average start was 17.3. His next worst in his career was all the way back in his rookie season, 11.3, 6 positions better. This meant a lack of stage points and still being behind when the race started. But Elliott's biggest setback wasn't the injury. It was possibly up to 50 or 60 points and the momentum lost in this poor decision.
Oh, trouble front straightaway. Hard in the wall goes Hamlin. Chase Elliott.
Hard impact for Denny Hamlin.
That was a savage crash right at the start-finish line.
The Coke 600.
Left of your screen.
The inside of Chase. Gets loose. You see him lift out of the gas. The flames crowded Chase. Got into him. But they saw some retaliation there.
Or did Keselowski get into the left rear corner of Elliott there?
I saw Elliott. You see Elliott lose his nose and lift out of the gas. Flames come out of the pipes.
Yep.
Chase it up. Squeeze Chase into the wall.
But some big news coming out from the NASCAR community. Chase Elliott, he has been suspended from the next Cup Series championship event at St. Louis following Monday's race at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Decides to go out there and lead these races. He takes care of business. It's a few more corners down through the S's.
Got a little bit loose there through 1 and 2. Did the one of Ross Chastain, and now a year ago both teams were able to win, both cars, with Daniel Suarez and Ross.
He's looking for the right moment, maybe perhaps a slip from Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott is conflicted right now. He's trying to go offense, but he's trying to play defense. He'll lose second as SVG is on the move. Will take the spot.
Been 60 years since a driver has won in their series debut. Well, through turn 11, Shane Van Gisbergen has been perfect. He has navigated the streets of Chicago. Michael McDowell comes onto the front stretch in Indy. The 38-year-old is going to win at Indianapolis.
Off the pace, and he's slinging the car back side to side.
But obviously Chase Elliott out of fuel on the racetrack, needing a win at Watkins Glen or Daytona next.
Push coming now for Harvick. Oh, and around goes a couple cars. Preece upside down. He's barrel rolling through. Buescher separates a car link between he and Keselowski.
Brad's got no help. I don't think he gets back there to the 17.
As they come to the tri-oval, Buescher's going to win at Daytona.
While Chase did miss the playoffs, he had done well enough that the substitute drivers had garnered enough points that the 9 car was in the owner's playoffs, which did give everyone a look at where he would have been had he made the playoffs, which would have been the round of 8 and finished the season in 10th. But in the playoffs, Elliott was never once the best Hendrick car. While that fits the season, it was that he never was the worst finishing Hendrick car the entire playoffs either. He was always the second or third car, 5 times apiece. As a champion and one of the top drivers of the series, he expects to be the best on his team plenty or the majority of the time. So going the entire playoffs, being 5 times the second Hendrick driver and 5 times the third Hendrick driver, sums up Elliott's very disappointing but not bad 2023 season. Elliott's 2023 season was that of missed opportunity and major frustration. While it wasn't a bad season for most drivers, the championship expectation of Chase Elliott means that he had the fewest ever top 5s, fewest top 10s, worst average start, winless, missing the playoffs, worst ever average finish. This concludes it equals a major disappointing season.